What is going on, my maniacs? nathINSANE here, and today's video is going to be a bit of a rant, a bit of a constructive video, I suppose. I don't know. Some people call it complaining, some people will call it whatever. Everybody's got a subjective point of view on Trials, of course. I had previously just made a video saying Trials was saved, and here we are almost a month and a week later, and it is degrading at a rapid pace. A pace at which I did not think was possible. Now, getting right into the meat and potatoes of what is going on with Trials. Now, the biggest issue I see from my perspective with Trials and with the game overall is that it suffers from an identity crisis. Because as we've seen, in the last month alone, we've had 3 different types of matchmaking, from the first week, which was just an open pool, to the second or third week, which was a flawless pool, to turning on flawless on Sundays, to Trials Labs with flawless pool, to next week is going to be freelance Trials. I mean, it has just been a roller coaster of changes week to week, all in the name of accessibility. But with accessibility, we have sacrificed replayability. No longer do you go flawless and keep playing throughout the weekend with different friends. Due to the flawless pool being implemented, now a lot of players are stopping playing once they hit their flawless, and even worse, now you will be met with, have you gone flawless this weekend, when you ask to play with either friends or LFG, and you will be passed over a good chunk of the time if you are in that flawless matchmaking pool, because they don't want those sweaty lobbies. Now, this ties in with another issue, where people are resetting their cards all weekend long until Monday or Tuesday before reset, then they go flawless when they've done their carries, they've done their cards with their friends, or they've just farmed a bunch of people in the non-flawless pool. Now, this is the biggest hole in the cheese that is the flawless matchmaking pool. Giving players on both sides autonomy on what kind of matchmaking they get is a mistake. Now, this isn't a mistake because of the idea of flawless matchmaking and getting people their first flawlesses or getting them a flawless a week. I do think it's great for people to get loot. You should be rewarded for your time. Trials should reward you with endgame materials for your time, for you playing the playlist. Now, while I think flawless is a great concept, and I do think it has some purpose and some mystique for a lot of the player base, I don't think it needs to have such a mystique that it deteriorates its playlist and makes it something that it probably shouldn't be. It's not a hyper-competitive mode. You ask any of the top 0.1% players that do tourneys, sweats, stuff like that, and you bring up your Trials KD, you bring up Trials skill, whatever, they will laugh in your face. I would laugh in your face, because it is not a hyper-competitive mode. This is where Bungie needs to really sit down and look at Trials as what it should be. And in my opinion, that should be a way for PvP players and people that don't play PvP to dip their toes into PvP. It should be a stepping stone, complementary to a complete revamp of competitive. This should be a weekend excursion where you go and farm out materials, you go farm for some weapons, you go have fun with your friends. Flawless should not be the end-all be-all goal for endgame PvP, because it is not endgame or top-tier PvP. Just being honest here, from my point of view, from somebody who's main PvP for almost the entirety of Destiny, Trials is a great mode. It's a fun mode. It's a mode where you connect with people and you have fun and you get loot. That's what it should be. It should be about getting loot, about replayability, about playing with your friends. Now, I'm not saying that week 1 is the answer. I just think it has less avenues that players can manipulate, because not having players play until the flawless pool is activated is bad, and then also having players stay in the non-flawless pool, farming out the players who now will be bullied out of the playlist, is not good either. Now, this may be semi-controversial. I am all for a soft skill-based matchmaking being implemented in the game, as long as connections and quality of the game do not suffer to the degree that they have currently, because the current matchmaking system, if I'm just being honest here, is pretty scuffed. On a given weekend, I can 5-0, I can get 5-0'd, I can disconnect from the game, I can match the same team multiple times in a row. It is a crapshoot at times with the flawless pool or the non-flawless pool. It doesn't quite make sense. So if anything, let's just revert it back to week 1 for a temporary time until we can figure out and sort a proper matchmaking, because I am not for people getting 5-0'd, but it does happen. Now, if we can find a way to make it happen less and keep people playing more, then that is the route we should go. Personally, I'd be okay if they completely got rid of the flawed card concept, period. Or even, you can get adept weapons from not going flawless. You don't have to go flawless to get adept weapons. You just need to get a 7-win card. Once you get that 7-win card, if you want to keep playing on it, you can get more adept weapons and more endgame materials to drop just by playing on that card. Something or anything to entice and keep people playing throughout the weekend. But I just don't think flawless matchmaking is it, nor do I think freelance and splitting the population up even further, because as you've seen, and as I'll show on the screen, the population drop has already started to happen. As you can see on the screen, we are already down almost half the players and definitely down on the matches. Replayability has gone pretty much out the window. Now, flawless has gone up, that's great, but at what cost, and is it even necessary to have flawless matchmaking? Because week 1, there was just as many people going flawless. Yes, you had more blowouts, technically, there was a lot more players in there. That's where we kind of get people to just stick around and keep trying. And if we take away this mysticism of flawless, then perhaps people don't really stress it as much and they just go in there and have fun and keep playing and try to get better at the mode and at PvP. Now, I do think if they really want flawless matchmaking to work, there is probably a road somewhere in there that they can travel and figure it all out. But in my opinion, I think that energy and those resources would be better served revamping competitive and mirroring something similar to ranked in Apex Legends, where there is tiers and there is ladders and there is numbers and stuff. People like chasing those kind of things, especially skilled players. It is a way for them to flex their skill and their stats. You give those players somewhere to go, guess what happens to Trials? And the sweatiness of that playlist, it goes away for the most part because a lot of them spend their weekends and their season in a revamped comp. Now, this allows you to turn Trials into somewhat of a stepping stone. It is a way for players to learn engagements, to learn positioning, to learn maps, to learn builds, to learn team chemistry, to learn callouts, to learn so many different factors that go into PvP. And then if they want, they can go take that skill into the Revamped Comp playlist, and then they can see their progression season to season the more PvP they play. It's kind of a nice synergistic system. Now, I do think this is a very plausible and very attainable goal. I mean, we have a website called Destiny Tracker that gives stats and rankings. I mean, there's already a system in place. But I digress to my main point about Trials. We just really need to find what its true identity is, and then go from there. That's truly what Bungie needs to really focus on, not so much figuring out how we get the mode to work with solo queue and duo queue and freelance and yada yada yada. First and foremost, my belief is that you should always prioritize rewarding the player for their time. That should be the main priority of Trials, of any game mode, of anything that comes out. Reward players for spending their time, their precious, precious time, which is the most precious commodity they have. But those are just my thoughts. You guys tell me yours in the comments section. Let me know what ideas you might have. What do you guys want to see? Do you love the system? Do you think it's great? You can disagree with me. That's totally fine. You're wrong, but it's fine. But really, I'm interested to know what you guys think. Please let me know. Subscribe if you're new. Thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. So long and good night. Okay, I did a dumb play. Oh my goodness. Woo! Damn, dude, they're just sitting in the middle. I can't do nothing. No. Got him weak in the middle.
Got one. They're all weak. Only one enemy is left. Grenade. Punch bullets everywhere. Guardian, my heart is still ready.
Shatter dive! Damn you!
Damn you and your shatter dive.
These are the final
Shitter divers ruining the game. I can't wait for the new Void subclass rework, and everybody's gonna be like, I hate Void, whatever this thing is called.
Yep, that's pretty much what's gonna happen.
I was at a 170. It killed him with a 170 shot.
Yeah, that will happen.
Damn, I almost stole it.
That guy got
Look how far is back. That is so far.